Okay, welcome to this Sunday School webinar, where we meet every Sunday for those who like, and we go through principles that will help you build your business, but also will help you in your life. And if you've never been here before, this is not a webinar where we talk about technical stuff regarding back offices or payments or stuff like that. This is strictly and pure personal development. And for some people, take a time to get into personal development, but everyone needs it and everyone loves it when they finally start doing it. And I had some requests from people who were listening to another webinar a couple of months ago. So this will be partly, some of this webinar will be repetition. People asked me to do this, so I built this webinar into two webinars. But let's start with this. Wisdom bring wealth. What do we mean by that? Well, take a look at yourself, and we got to have a starting point. Every person needs a starting point. So this is so beautiful because when you're working with principles, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what country you're in, how old you are, or how young you are, your background, because you're not competing with other people. You're only competing with yourself. So only compare yourself to yourself. That means that if you had acquired knowledge more than you had yesterday, you're a success. But let's get into this. So, happiness and success is only in who you become. What do we mean by that? Well, we mean that when you're like you join a business and maybe you don't have any experience in business before. Some people have, of course, that's fine, but there's always new stuff to learn. But you join a business and you start to learn that business. You are becoming something that you were not before. You're getting information and knowledge that you didn't have before. So all the happiness and success is who you become, because you got to become before you can do. You got to be someone before you can do something and before you can have something. And I was listening to Miles, fantastic mentor of mine. Unfortunately, he died in a plane crash, but he had such an impact on this planet. And when I heard his training he was doing, I borrowed a couple of things here from him. And you know, celebrity people want to become famous. Most people want to become famous and respected, and they want to be liked. That's the core human desire, is to be liked. Everyone has that. We made our decisions based out of, we want to be liked. But some people want to be famous. I mean, it's so ridiculous that today you can be in a TV show doing nothing and become famous. So don't mix up that kind of uh, success with the real success, because the celebrity comes from the word celebrate. And when do people celebrate someone? Well, That's when they've done something, when they acquired something, when they have produced, or when they have, made something special. And since success is to become, this is from Miles, and success begins with identify a problem to solve. Wow. Well, listen, you entered business because you didn't have enough money, or you didn't like the place where you were living, or you wanted to change your situation, or whatever. Everyone have different why they're doing something. But if you look at it, like, if you thought you wanted to make some more money because you could use that, okay, that's a problem. That's a problem to solve. You're starting to solve a problem. And the thing is, the most successful people in the world are the people who solve other people's problems. So you join a business, and luckily you're in direct sales, where you recruit, and you want other people to join your business so you can help them solve their problem. You're actually solving a problem for someone else. And when you're becoming a leader, you start educating people. You becoming a teacher, but you got to, of course, have something to teach before you can teach someone, because spirit and character rubs off. Never forget it. So success always begin to identify a problem, and then you can understand that if you have the old programming that most people have, that problem is a negative thing. Most people, they quit a business when problem occurs because they don't realize that success is solving problems. So problems is part of the equation. But success always begins to separate yourself from the pack. You take a step outside and say, hey, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to think like this. I'm going to change my thinking. And when you start changing the way you think, things start to change. And people, they're going to say, you're not the same as you were before. We don't really like you anymore. Come back to us. Come back. Stay poor and lousy, and don't solve problems. That's what they say. Of course, this is exaggerating, but I'm just trying to make a point. So don't be scared when you all of a sudden feel alone because no one is understanding you. That's a good sign. So when you become successful in an area of life, you become good at motivating people, or you become good at recruiting people, or you become good at uh, helping people, or you become good at uh, teaching, or you become good at explaining how a system works, or you become good at doing webinars. You know, that's when people will celebrate you. So they don't celebrate people. Well, actually they do, but that's not the real celebration. So when you become successful in life, in any area of life, like in sports, we celebrate uh, people in sports. Sometimes I think it's a little bit ridiculous because they're overpaid, and it's like, why, but still, they have actually trained, and they have gone through hardship, and they have put goals down, and they made up their mind, and they took action. So they become successful in an area of life, and people started to celebrate them. They become celebrities. Like ice hockey. If you want to be good at ice hockey or soccer or football, American football, rugby or tennis or any sport, you think you have to uh, hit that tennis ball a couple of 100,000 times or maybe million times before you're really good at it. And you have to work on your stamina and your, you know, you have to go to the gym and you have to all those things. Most people, they don't, because they connect that with a problem. They think it's a problem. They think it's not worth it. So what do I mean by this? Well, follow me now and you will see. So when people think, they celebrate you and say, "Hey, you're good. You reached the level, or you're good at recruiting, or you're good at this, or good at that." That's when leadership starts kicking in. Leadership is about influence. You have influence of other people because you're good at something. You've done something that other didn't. And if you knew at this webinar, you have just recently started, pick these principles up that I'm talking about today. Number one, successful people, they're becoming. So they are changing themselves from, they are separate themselves from the pack. Successful people, they educate themselves, like here today. So leadership is about influence. When you are a leader, you have influence over other people. So that's why it's so important that you have character. Otherwise, one question all leaders should ask themselves is, I'm leading people, so where am I leading the people? And influence is, you make other people to let go what they're doing and to follow you instead. So someone is had something going, and you come around and you say, "Hey, look at this, look at who I am, look who I become." That's influence. That's where people go, "Whoa, I celebrate that person," because that person did something that I didn't. I want to follow him or her. So influence is to cause other people to let go of the stuff they're doing right now or right then and to follow you. So they realize in their heart, in their mind and soul that, wow, I should listen to this person because this person is something to celebrate. He or she has done something that I haven't. So I'm ready to follow. And when other people change just to follow you, that is real leadership. So the role of rule and law of success. You cannot mix up rule and law. Laws are the principles that were here way before we were here. The principles that we have set down as a guide to progress. That's a good sentence. They were here, and they're the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And you got to understand why it's so important to. So the first part in this webinar, is about explaining, success and becoming and influence and leadership. Okay, so we get a red thread. Everything in life is designed to work, to function by laws. Everything in life. So if there's no principles behind it, there's no laws, then I'm not talking about rules that, different politicians or people, put down for you. I'm talking about the laws of life, the universal laws. So everything in life is designed to function by laws. That's why it's so easy to predict a success or a failure just by looking what a person is doing. How that person is taking care of the time that that person is getting. Because time, you'll never get back time. Time is the most valuable thing. If you spend an hour educating yourself, that's good time spending. But if you spend a couple of hours looking at the television, that's not good. So that's why success and failure in life is totally predictable, because everything in life works according to the laws. And success is obedient to laws. That's why we have these webinars. I know people don't like to hear this because, they got some money, and they think they're a success because they have a lot of money. That's not success. It could be a success if that same person made that money by building his character or her character and helping other people understand the function of the laws. So success is a byproduct. It's not the end. Success is a byproduct. So it's not something you chase. Success is a result. It's a byproduct of following those laws. That's why we stress personal development, and I know there's a lot of repetition in the webinars because that's the way it works. You got to hear it thousands of times, you got hundreds of times before you get it. And one day you hear the same message, and you will go, "Oh, now I understand," because you're on that level. But the psychology of winning is when you feel you have thoughts. Thoughts create feelings and emotions, not the opposite. It's not you don't have a feeling and then you have a thought. No, 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 no. Thoughts is always before the feeling or the emotion. So thoughts create feelings and emotions. That's why it's so wrong when people say, "Oh, I don't feel like it." Well, if you don't feel like it, you've probably been thinking in the wrong way or right way, because it could be. But anyway, so thought create feelings and emotions. If you have good thoughts, great feeling will occur. If you have thoughts about stuff that you want to acquire or do and travel and experience and building your empire, whatever that is, that's create a great feeling. Will create some action or no action and a result. So the psychology of winning, if you put the laws as the first, you study the laws. So all you think about is the laws. Do you understand that that's how you create success? when you understand those universal laws. So success is becoming, and you're here for a purpose. Success is completion and fulfillment of your purpose. So that's why it's so important. And I know it feels weird that to say that, you got to find your why, you got to find your purpose, your driving force behind everything. And, for everyone in the beginning, it's always the easy things like material stuff. Oh, I want to have that car. I want to have that, a bunch of money, or I want to just pay my bills. So that's okay. But when you travel down the road of success, you will learn new stuff and you will understand you were not here to buy that car. That was not your purpose. You were not here to have that load of money in your bank account sitting there for nothing. You're here for not something else, something bigger. Because there's so much to do on this planet, so much to take care of people who needs information. They need you. So success is a completion and fulfillment of our purpose. We got to find our purpose. And it says that if the axe is dull and the edge is unsharpened, more strength is required. But with skill, and skill in this is knowledge of the laws, success comes quickly. Wow. I think this slide was worth the whole webinar. So you understand that you gotta sharpen your axe before you're cutting that tree down. And if it's sharp, you don't need that much strength, because it's like you're putting all this information inside your mind and success becomes easy. That is cause and effect. You put something inside your mind, cause, and an effect will come out. At the same time, if someone doesn't put any information in his mind, or the wrong information, he's watching television or hanging around with beer drinking buddies all day, that's another programming. So you put something inside your mind in the psychology of winning, and that's an effect will come out of that. So the money producing activities comes from sharpening the axe, becoming skillful, becoming, have more knowledge, and keys to success. You heard that, you hear that in webinars and in success seminars, and you want to know the keys to success, and everyone goes, yeah. So what's the keys to success? Keys are the laws. So when you're in the seminar, there's no magical formula, there's no magic wand, but there is laws. And that's why we're here. Because order is law. Order is law. What do I mean by that? Well, where there's order, there is success. Order for us is the system. When you work in the system, and you don't have to use this system, but this is a system, and the system, you work the system will work for you. And education is the heart in the system. We don't spend as much time as we do on recruiting and writing a name list and writing goals down and learning about the products and and do presentations. that we spend 80% of our time, maybe 15% of our time only on education. But the education is the heart in the business. That's where you sharpen the axe. So you understand what I'm talking about? Order is law. And the purpose of a system, look at this: stability, comforting people. Do you think people like to be comforted? They feel comfort, like, wow, this is, yes, they feel comfort when you have a system. And the system will work for you. It will duplicate. There will be information and news and promotions and all the stuff that people need to know in the system. It will also motivate and inspire people. So, order is law. Because laws will protect, sustain, and guard and promote life. And that's what we're looking for. We need order. We need success. We want success. And if we put order in our life, success will follow. So when you follow the laws, you can control the outcome. That's why I said it's so easy to predict someone's success or failure by just looking what they do. Just tell me what you do. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you read, what kind of books you read. Tell me what kind of people you spend your time with. Tell me where you hang out most of the time. Tell me how your day looks, and I will tell you if you're going to be a success or not. So again, you have to separate yourself from the pack, from the lemlings, because the lemlings, they are running where everybody else is running. And we had an example of that in 2020. I'm not going to go into that, but where everybody was running, where everybody else was running, no one was thinking for themselves. And that is not success. Because the longest way to success is a shortcut. It's trying to get something for nothing. It's trying to manipulate or cheat, steal, lie. Those are the shortcuts that we not do here. Shortcut is trespassing. If you're gonna cut through someone's yard, you're trespassing. That's a shortcut. The shortcut is trespassing. Forgive us our trespasses. So shortcut is not the doable way. And that's a law. Laws have built-in consequences in themselves. So people think that, someone is punishing them. No, they're punishing themselves. And we're talking a lot about the Maslow pyramid, and I'm just using that as an example. You don't have to, get stuck in that, but it's a great example, because sometimes you wonder why, and we covered that in this webinar with the purpose and everything. But why is so few people successful? Well, because they're trying to take a shortcut. Because it's so easy not to set goals. It's so easy not to be disciplined. It's so easy not to educate themselves. Listen, the webinar I'm holding here is a $1 million webinar. And people are so ignorant, so they don't come here and listen because they think something else is more important. Can you believe that? Yeah. It's not, I don't care. Because every time I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I learn something. Because what you give is what you get. So success is obedient to laws. And if you do this, what we talked about today, you know, the best of your life is the rest of your life. Because, you're not who you think you are who you think you are. So, guys, see you next Sunday and be blessed out there and prosperous, happy, joyous, and free. Go out and help other people becoming. And most of all, stay free. Free your mind. Thank you.